Hi everyone, and welcome to Jane Talks Real. It's Trek Tuesday, where I'll be talking about and reviewing an episode of the original series, The Next Generation, Voyager, Deep Space Nine, or Enterprise. Today I'm looking at Trials and Tribble-ations from Deep Space Nine's 5th season, or as I like to call it, that time a Star Trek episode blew all the budget. This episode was on the schedule and also requested by Dandelion Down, so great minds really do think alike. We begin the episode with a visit from the Department of Temporal Investigations, but they don't appreciate Dax's joke. They ask Sisko about a little time travel excursion he went on, and he tells them the story. The Cardassians gifted them with a time orb to give to the Bajorans and picked up a passenger who may look familiar, so keep that in mind. He orders some Klingon coffee and sasses Worf before peacing out, and on the way home they're hit with a surge of chronoton radiation, and they're suddenly nowhere near where they were before. They rock up to the OG Enterprise, and into the credits we go. The agents are annoyed that Kirk was involved, seeing as he violated the timeline a lot. And Luxley here looks familiar because he's done the rounds in every major crime show and sitcom, while Dulmer here looks like what would happen if you smushed together present-day Connor Trenier and Dominic Keating. Fun fact, Dulmer and Luxley are so named because they're approximate anagrams of Mulder and Scully, who are of course from the X-Files. Anyway, back to the story, and the orb has been stolen by that passenger who was the sus grey-suited man and undercover Klingon from The Trouble with Tribbles, played once again by the same actor. Odo and Worf pieced together that after failing his original mission, he was arrested by the Federation and abandoned by the Klingons, so he sat and stewed for 100 years until he heard about the Time Orb, and now he's planning on getting his original mission right. They don't know whether Darwin beamed onto the Enterprise or the space station, so they have to go looking for him, but first they need to blend in, so it's time for a makeover montage! The four of them plan to search the Enterprise, while the odd couple back there are going to try and keep a low profile on the space station. Good luck with that. O'Brien and Bashir can't get the turbo lift to work, so this lady with fabulous eyeshadow shows them how it's done, while Dax and Sisko enjoy the old technology, and Odo witnesses Chekhov and Uhura walking into the bar. Odo tries to order Klingon coffee, only to be told some old guy tried to do the same thing earlier, but they don't stock it and the guy left an hour ago. O'Brien and Bashir are rumbled by this dude and yada yada an excuse, and after O'Brien blows the lights, Bashir suggests they scram. Worf meets up with Odo, only to be dismayed that he's got a Tribble.
They are detestable creatures.
He complains that Tribbles do nothing but eat and breed, and they're enemies of the Klingon Empire, probably because Scotty dumped them all on the departing Klingon ship at the end of The Trouble with Tribbles. Odo is mocking Worf about the whole thing when an alarm goes off, which is also sounding on Enterprise, which sends Dax and Sisko scrambling for battle stations. Sisko hilariously tries to use his badge to contact the Defiant, which they both find funny, and Kira reports that a Klingon ship has rocked up, hence the alarm bells. Dax is excited because one of the Klingons is Koloth, her symbiote's old buddy, but Sisko tells us she's not allowed to go hang out with him, and orders O'Brien and Bashir to investigate instead. They get on the turbo lift and run into the same woman again, and she proper flirts with Bashir. Get it, girl? Except Bashir thinks she might be his great-grandmother and reckons he may be destined to become his own great-grandfather. Okay, first off, what? And second, that's the same thing Fry went through in the Futurama episode Roswell that ends well.
You can't just dismiss this.
I can try.
Sisko and Dax spot Kirk and Spock coming up the hall, and Dax can't stop staring. And she's pretty sweet on Spock, which is no surprise because actress Terry Farrell would go on to marry Leonard Nimoy's son Adam in 2018. Dax really wants to meet Kirk, but Sisko says it's too risky, and Dax relents, but says she's feeling really nostalgic because her symbiote lived in this era. O'Brien and Bashir find Odo and Worf still drinking it up at the bar, and Bashir talks really fucking loudly about it. Scotty, Chekhov and some dude walk in, and O'Brien thinks the third man is Kirk, which is a bit of an in-joke, because actor Paul Baxley not only plays Lieutenant Freeman on the show, but also served as William Shatner's stunt double. The waitress comes over and points out the Klingons, which Odo didn't recognise, and the group all ask Worf why they look so weird. Worf replies it's none of their business, aka the writers didn't know, but this discrepancy will be eventually explained in Season 4 of Enterprise. The Klingon starts winding up Chekhov and Scotty throws the first punch, kicking off the bar fight which O'Brien gets involved with. Bashir gets a few whacks in and then Worf gets involved, so Odo drags him away to go after Darwin, while the other two are detained. Mulder and Scully are pissed that the foursome got involved in the bar fight, but Sisko says there were no consequences. But O'Brien is asked by Kirk who started the fight, and he's super excited that Kirk spoke to him before Bashir falls over a Tribble. The Tribbles are absolutely everywhere again, so good job Worf is aboard the Defiant, detaining Darwin, who says he's going to be a hero. Worf threatens him, so he reveals he put a bomb inside a Tribble, which Odo reports to Sisko. Sisko says he and Dax will search the Enterprise while the others, minus Worf, search the space station, even though there are over 1 million Tribble at this point. Sisko and Dax hang out on the bridge, scanning for the bomb, when McCoy walks in, and Dax reveals that his symbiote got rather frisky with him in his younger days. Oh my. They determine that the bomb is not on the ship, so it must be on the station, where Odo and the others are scanning the Tribbles and chucking them around, while the long-suffering bartender chills in the background. With time running out, they need a new plan, so Dax decides they should follow Kirk as he is the intended target. They overhear Kirk talking about the storage compartments and rush to the station to get in the grain storage before Kirk opens the hatch. The pair scan Tribbles and chuck the good ones through the door, which is why they kept coming in the original episode, until Sisko finds the bomb and orders Kira to beam it into space. The rest of the episode continues as normal, except Sisko plucks up the courage to talk to Kirk, and they head back to the present, where Mulder and Scully seem satisfied that the timeline hasn't been disrupted. Except Quarks is now covered in Tribbles. Well, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the trouble with Tribbles, so this one is also a delight to watch. The integration of the DS9 characters into the original series episode were pretty seamless, with a little uncanny valley sometimes. But given this episode aired in 1998, it's pretty damn impressive. Trials and Tribble-ations had such an ease to it, with lots of references and Easter eggs, without being too self-aware. And they really did go all out, recreating the sets, get previously used actors, and using certain camera and lighting techniques to bring the old episode to life. So it's little wonder it was nicknamed the most expensive hour of television ever produced. I don't have much more to say. I usually don't when an episode is enjoyable, as this one is, but I will say that I'm glad they stuck to having only 6 characters go to the Enterprise or the space station. It stopped it from being too overly complicated, and left me feeling nostalgic in the best possible way. I would highly recommend this episode for a nice easy watch and a walk down memory lane. So there you have it. That was Trials and Tribble-ations. If you have an episode of Star Trek you'd like me to cover, then please pop it down in the comments below or come say hi on social media. If you enjoyed this video, then please hit that like button, it really does mean a lot, or consider subscribing if you want to be assimilated into my channel. Alternatively, feel free to check out my other YouTube channel, Jane Plays Games Badly. Thank you so much for watching, I'll speak to you soon, and live long and prosper.